Every life is a collection of moments. Some pass quietly, like footsteps on sand that are soon washed away. Others, though small and almost invisible at first, leave an imprint that lasts forever. It is not always the big events that change us. Sometimes it is a single word, a chance meeting, or a hidden truth waiting in plain sight. This is the story of a young traveler named Aaron. He was restless, always searching, always chasing. He carried with him a heavy bag filled with notebooks, maps, and objects he thought he needed to understand the world. But in his heart, there was a weight heavier than the bag he carried. Doubt, fear. The belief that life was too complicated, too uncertain, too out of his control. One evening, Aaron came across an old bridge. Beneath it flowed a river, quiet yet powerful. Beside the bridge sat an old man, carving wood with steady hands. The traveler asked, "Old man, you seem at peace. What is your secret?" "I have traveled far, but I cannot find peace." The old man smiled and said, "Only one small lesson can transform everything. Sit with me and listen." Aaron sat down. The old man pointed to the river. "Do you see how it flows? It does not resist the stones, the branches, or the twists in its path. It does not complain that the mountain is too steep or the valley too deep. It flows. It moves. It trusts." The traveler watched. He had been fighting life, resisting every difficulty, clinging to control. The river whispered a truth he had forgotten. "Life becomes lighter when we stop resisting and start flowing," the old man said. "This is your first lesson. Do not resist what comes. Flow and life will carry you further than struggle ever will." The traveler sat silently, realizing that perhaps peace wasn't something to be chased, but something to be allowed. That night, the traveler stayed at the old man's hut. As darkness filled the room, the man lit a single candle. "Look," he said, "at how one flame pushes away the shadows. The darkness seems endless, but it only takes one small light to change it." The traveler reflected. He often felt overwhelmed by the weight of the world. Problems too vast, dreams too far, doubts too loud. Yet here, one tiny candle shifted the entire room. The second lesson revealed itself. You don't need to solve everything. You only need one small light, one small action, one small step, and it can transform the dark around you. The next morning, the old man handed the traveler a seed. "Plant this," he said, "and remember, greatness hides in small beginnings." As the traveler placed the seed in the soil, he thought of his own journey. He had always chased the big answer, the great moment, the final secret. But perhaps life wasn't about giant leaps. Perhaps it was about planting small seeds, each to patience, kindness, persistence, and letting them grow. The lesson was simple, yet powerful. Transformation begins with something small, often invisible, but it grows into something unshakable. Before the traveler left, the old man gave him a small mirror. "This," he said, "is the last lesson. Every path you walk, every river you cross, every seed you plant, every light you carry, it all begins here. With you." The traveler gazed at his reflection. For the first time, he saw not a restless wanderer, but someone capable of change. The world had always seemed so heavy, so overwhelming, but he realized the world does not transform until we transform ourselves. The traveler continued his journey, but he no longer carried the heavy burden of confusion. Instead, he carried 4 small lessons. Flow like the river. Shine like the candle. Plant the seed. Remember the mirror. Each lesson was simple. Each one small, but together they transformed his entire life. And so, remember this. It is never the size of the lesson that changes us. It is the depth with which we live it. Sometimes, the smallest truth can shift the greatest weight. So tonight, when you lie in bed, ask yourself, what small lesson is life teaching me right now? What small action can I take to bring light into my world? What small seed can I plant today for the future I desire? Because sometimes, one small lesson can transform everything.